Yeah, my name is Stallone-Obaraemi Samuel, and I just want to share something really interesting this today. Have you ever considered or stopped to actually consider the undeniable power of universal laws? Well, these laws are actually unwavering, they are consistent, and they apply to every culture around the world. Take, for instance, the law of gravity. Wherever you are in the world today, the law of gravity applies. Anything that you throw up, it's going to drop, it's going to come down. It's a law. No matter where you are, it applies. But here's the thing when it comes to personal growth, it is not like gravity, it doesn't just happen automatically. It is not a natural process in most people's lives. And that's why I'm prompted to ask you two questions. What are you doing personally intentionally to grow yourself? What are you doing? And what are you doing to intentionally develop others in your family, in your circle, maybe at school, wherever you are? Are people being developed by virtue of your actions? What are you doing intentionally? These are questions, they are actually key questions that would help you to unlock your true potential. Now, let us dive a little deeper into an interactive conversation. Well, as some of you probably know by now, if you don't know, I work with John Maxwell, and he talks about the traps that hinder our growth, and he calls them gaps in our learning. I'm going to share a couple of them with you. With the number one, we have the assumption gap. Now, the assumption gap is the gap that exists when you assume that growth will happen on its own, that what will happen will happen. So, some people live in that space, and so they leave growth to chance. The number two gap that you need to be aware of is what we call the knowledge gap. And that is, I want to grow, but I don't know how to grow. I really don't know how to go about it. So, I don't know, there's nothing I can do about it. Well, that's a gap that most people suffer from. Most people find themselves entrapped in. The next gap I want to share with you is called the timing gap. When we talk about the timing gap, it's thinking that, yes, I love to grow, I want to grow, but it's not the right time for me to begin to grow. So we keep pushing the process of growth further and further away. The fourth gap is called the mistake gap. And when we talk about mistake gap, we're talking about people who are afraid, who are entrapped in a space where they're afraid to make mistakes. And because they're afraid to make mistakes, they don't want to try anything. And that way they deprive themselves of the opportunity or the privileges or the chance to grow. The number five, we have the perfection gap. The perfection gap is you are in that space where you are waiting for the perfect moment to start. So you want everything to be in place before you start. Some people are like that. I want my website set. I want to have this. I want to have that. We all, at one point or the other, suffer from this. But sometimes I've had my own fair share of that. But understand that if you fall into any of these gaps, they affect your growth. That's why I am mentioning them. Now, the other one is what we call the inspiration gap. When we talk about the inspiration gap, we're talking about people saying, I want to do, there's no motivation. They don't feel moved to even try. So the motivation is lacking. I remember a couple of times I've told people that really, if you want to get motivated, you probably need to look at your bills. Well, that depends on where you are in life. Also, motivation sometimes would come from what exactly do you want to accomplish? How much people, how many persons do you want to reach? How much do you want to impact your society? You want to impact your community? But because you cannot grow other people if you do not, first of all, grow yourself. So when the motivation is not there, it's hard for people to drive, to drill in, to chisel in stuff, and take actions that would enable them to do what, to move from the one point to the point that they are to the point they would love to be. The other gap that affects people in terms of growth is called the comparison gap. The comparison gap is thinking that it should be easier. Why is this happening to me? Why is my case different? Why are people making progress and I'm not progressing? So when you keep comparing yourself to other people, you are in a space where those things can actually stunt your growth. But these gaps that I'm mentioning, many people experience them but do not know exactly why they're experiencing them. The last gap I want to put up to you right now on this video, on this message, according to John Maxwell, is what we call the expectation gap. Okay, the expectation gap. Okay, no, the comparison gap is when you think you are inferior to other people, you keep comparing yourself to other people. Well, the expectation gap is when you think it should be easier. All of these things actually do affect you. Now, I want you to stop for a moment and identify the number one gap of everything that I've listed. You can pause this video and watch again. Of everything I've listed that is possibly kept you trapped, okay, at this moment. And what's actually holding you back from intentionally taking your personal development journey more seriously? And more importantly, what actions do you need to take? What steps do you need to take that can take you right now to break free from this trap? I want you to consider these questions and see how it can help you to move from one point to another. And that's not all. We are offering you an incredible opportunity to take your personal growth to the next level. And that's why I'm inviting you to join our mastermind, a mastermind group. We are studying one of John Maxwell's best-selling books. It is called The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. You need to see that, if you do not have that book, I encourage you to buy that book and put it in your library and make sure that you read it. Well, what we've done is to create a 4-week mastermind that will connect you with other like-minded individuals who are all focused on elevating the results in every area of their lives. Okay, so it's like getting people of like minds together and then they brainstorm. It's more power. It's 10 times more powerful than when you read on your own and try to make notes. Because just imagine the power of collaborating with people that share the same ambition as you. And together, we will be able to explore and implement the principles that are found in the 15 invaluable laws of growth to raise your leadership level and to raise your consciousness when it comes to personal growth so that you can achieve greatness. You see, I like to think of it as a transformational journey, as a transformative journey that will lead you to a different level. Now, this will be facilitated by a member of the John Maxwell coaching, speaking, and teaching team. This is my advice to you. Don't let growth remain accidental. It's never going to happen. You have to be intentional about it because it's time to take intentional action. That's what I'm trying to say, towards becoming the best version of yourself. So I encourage you, I'm persuading you to join us in this life-changing mastermind study, okay, on the 15 invaluable laws of growth. I urge you to seize this opportunity and watch your personal and professional life soar to new heights. Please act now and click the link. There should be a link, there should be instructions below. Make sure that you reserve your spot and commence this extraordinary journey. The important thing herein is that, which I think is quite interesting, is that this is costing you nothing. This is actually costing you nothing. Here's the great news actually. As of today, this life transforming mastermind group study it's valued at £250 per person. That's the value. But for today, our limited time period, it is absolutely free. Yes, you heard me right. Absolutely free. It's completely complimentary And here's the catch, it is only for a limited time. Like I said, it's only available for a limited time. You stand to lose nothing. Come into a group with a few persons, with like-minded people, with like minds, and together explore this very powerful book. The opportunity to join the mastermind group and unlock the secrets to intentional growth won't last forever. So I'm advising you to act now, because it's actually a priceless offer. And it's open for only 15 persons. Hear me, let me explain. Because it's a mastermind, we would need, everybody in the group would need to be engaged. And so you cannot, opening up for a large number of people will defeat its purpose. So it's just for 15 persons, open for 15 persons. If you're fortunate enough to get in, and the fact that you apply, you give your names and all of that, does not necessarily mean that you will be chosen. But if you were chosen, it is an opportunity you should not miss at all. All the details that you need in order to register and secure your spot can be found below this video, or maybe somewhere left, right, depending on where you are actually watching this video. And I would really urge you to not hesitate. Register immediately and ensure that you don't miss out on this extraordinary opportunity. And seize the chance. Seize the chance to invest in your personal growth without any cost. And let's embark on this journey together toward a brighter, more successful future. So check somewhere around this video and take action. Remember, growth is not like the natural law of gravity that would happen wherever you are. You've got to be intentional. I've just shared with you one law, which is more about, it's called the law of intentionality. I have not even scratched the law, as it were. But what would happen is we're going to go deep into this law. And in the mastermind group, you'll have a chance to explore the other 14 laws. And then you can come back and tell your friends and community that this is worth it. My name is Stallone-Obaraemi Samuel. And I hope that you take this chance and get in, okay? And be intentional when it comes to personal growth and leadership.